Every marriage has little routines. For me and my husband, Daniel, it was breakfast. Every morning at exactly 7 a.m., we'd sit together in our small kitchen. I'd make coffee, he'd read the news, and we'd talk about our plans for the day. That routine never changed until one Monday morning. Daniel came downstairs looking terrible. His skin was pale. Sweat glistened on his forehead despite the cool weather. When he reached for his coffee mug, I noticed his hand trembling so badly that some of the coffee spilled onto the table. I frowned. "Daniel, are you okay?" He rubbed his eyes. "I don't know," he muttered. "You look exhausted." "I am." "Couldn't sleep?" He hesitated. Then he slowly shook his head. "It wasn't that." "What do you mean?" Daniel stared into his coffee for several seconds before speaking. "Have you ever had a dream that felt so real you couldn't tell if you'd actually woken up?" A chill ran through me. "Maybe once or twice," I replied. He swallowed hard. "I had one last night." I waited. His face became visibly tense. "In the dream, I woke up in the middle of the night," he said. I was sweating, and my heart was pounding. Everything looked normal at first. He paused. Then I looked up. His voice dropped to a whisper. The ceiling was gone. I felt a knot forming in my stomach. What was there instead? Daniel's eyes fixed on something beyond me. It looked like I was lying at the bottom of a grave. My breath caught. I could see dirt walls surrounding me. Above me was the sky. People were standing around the edge looking down. Who were they? I don't know. I've never seen any of them before. He leaned closer. Except one. The color drained from his face. There was a man standing at the edge of the grave. And he was me. A silence settled over the kitchen. "Exactly me," Daniel whispered. "Same face, same eyes, same voice." I felt goosebumps rise on my arms. What did he do? Daniel stared at the table. He smiled. "Love," his voice cracked. Then he said, "You've lived long enough. It's time for someone else to live for a while." I didn't know what to say. The dream sounded disturbing, but it was still just a dream. At least that's what I told myself. The next morning, things got worse. Daniel looked even more exhausted. Dark circles hung beneath his eyes. His clothes were wrinkled. His hands shook constantly. When I asked what happened, he looked at me with genuine terror. "I had the same dream again." "Exactly the same?" He nodded. Every detail. The grave, the crowd, the man who looked exactly like him, the smile, the words, every single detail. By Wednesday, he barely slept. By Thursday, he looked years older. By Friday, I hardly recognized my husband. His cheeks were sunken. His eyes looked hollow. He jumped at every noise. Sometimes I'd catch him staring at his reflection in mirrors for long periods without speaking. It frightened me. Daniel had always been calm, confident, and rational. Now he looked like a man being slowly destroyed. "Please," I begged him. "You need to talk to someone. A therapist can't help me." "Why not?" He looked away. "Because I don't think it's a dream anymore." Those words haunted me. Friday night was the worst. Daniel barely spoke during dinner. He kept glancing nervously at the windows. When bedtime came, he sat on the edge of the bed for almost an hour. He looked terrified to fall asleep. Eventually, exhaustion won. He drifted off. I watched him sleep. Around 3 a.m., I woke up suddenly. Daniel was sitting upright beside me, motionless, staring into darkness. "Daniel," no response. "Daniel." Slowly he turned toward me. For a brief moment, I felt an overwhelming wave of fear. Something seemed wrong, not physically, just wrong. His expression was empty, as if someone was trying to imitate him. Then he blinked. "Sorry," he murmured. "Bad dream." He lay back down. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. Saturday morning arrived. Sunlight streamed through the kitchen windows. I heard footsteps on the stairs. Daniel walked into the room, and instantly I noticed the difference. He looked healthy, rested, energetic. The dark circles were gone. His skin had color again. His posture was straight. He looked better than he had in weeks. Relief washed over me. Finally, I thought, the nightmare is over. I poured him a cup of coffee. "Did you have the dream again last night?" Daniel looked up. For a moment, he seemed confused. Then a slow smile spread across his face. A very familiar smile. The same smile he had described. The one from the grave. "What dream?" he asked. My stomach tightened. "The dream you've been having all week." He laughed softly. "I have no idea what you're talking about." The smile never left his face. I stared at him. Suddenly, I remembered something. Daniel always drank his coffee black. Every single morning for 12 years. Without fail. But the man sitting across from me picked up the sugar bowl and poured 3 spoonfuls into his cup. Exactly the way I do. Then he looked directly into my eyes and smiled again. That's when I realized the nightmare hadn't ended. Someone had simply climbed out of the grave, and my husband never came back.